This investor from Nagpur started his investing journey with one dream: to buy a house worth 2 crores. But today, the portfolio looks very different. Can he reach his dream of buying his house for his parents? Welcome to Portfolio Breakdown with Deserve. Today, we have a very interesting portfolio. It comes to us from Nagpur. He's a small business owner. The goal is to buy a house for his parents. The invested value of the portfolio was 64 lakhs. The current value of the portfolio is about 87 lakhs. Straight up, the portfolio has given 13.79% as the IRR, while the benchmark has given 18.66. So there's a massive underperformance in this portfolio. 90% of the assets are in equity mutual funds and 10% of the assets are in stocks and ETF. And if we kind of go down a little more, the individual owns 7 mutual funds and 20 stocks. So from a diversification standpoint, what's your view?
Ideally diversified, nothing, I would say, nothing significant out of line here.
Okay.
Seven mutual funds, 20 stocks is a very optimally diversified portfolio from a number perspective.
Understood. So let's go a little deeper into the equity mutual funds part, right? So out of the 78 lakhs that this person holds in equity mutual fund, I'm seeing about 75 plus percentage in small and mid caps, right? What do you make of this?
So this is very interesting, Yash, because you also spoke about the IRR being 13.5% plus, which basically means that this gentleman has started investing 3-4 years ago, because frankly markets have been flat for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Which means they started investing earlier than that.
Yeah.
For them to make 13-14% return.
So I think I can see that the first fund that the person has purchased is in 2020. It's a mid-cap fund.
Yeah.
Again, another fund in 2020, this person has purchased. It's a large and mid-cap fund. And all of the others are largely small cap.
Yeah.
And all of them have then been purchased in 2024, 2025.
Yeah. That's what I suspected as well, which is majority of his initial allocation went in 2020-2021 period. Only then can you reach this IRR that he's reached. This actually is a very interesting portfolio, and very frankly, a lot of such portfolios do come to us, which have got some things right in the past. So,
Right.
For example, in this case, the person got the starting point bang on, right? 2020-21, you couldn't have started off on a better note in India. So that's great. He also did a great job of what I called allocation, because he only chose 7 funds, which means he allocated it very well. Great job done there at the start. This is where the fourth element of ASAR that we keep talking about comes in, which is access, selection, allocation, review. Right. Review is something that if you do not do on a 6 monthly or a quarterly or even an annual basis, you will run into an issue like he has, where you start underperforming the benchmark significantly.
Got it.
Right? Just for an example, you started off very well, you put in the right amount in the initial allocation, but small and mid caps had a crazy run from 2021 to 2024. His portfolio, as you can see, in fact, if I were to rewind a year back, the portfolio would have looked 10% large cap, 90% mid and small cap.
Yeah.
That is the point. You have to review your portfolio and realign to a little bit higher large cap allocation and lesser small and mid cap allocation. So this is actually a great case study for us to showcase why review is important.
Understood. So just to summarize, essentially the person did a great job, built a great asset allocation, but what has happened is that they have not tried to shift the portfolio's allocation with respect to the market conditions. Specifically last year, we can see small cap has actually given negative returns on a 1 year basis, right? And probably one of the reasons why the portfolio has actually underperformed and lagged in comparison to the benchmark. So the importance of active management, the importance of rebalancing, the importance of, as you said, review clearly comes out here. So Sushmit, at this point, looking at the outlook for 2026, What do you think should be done in this portfolio? Specifically, if I want to rewind the allocation, 75% large and mid cap even today, right? We're reviewing this as of January of 2026.
Yeah. I would recommend taking 10 percentage points off from small cap and moving that to large cap. So that makes small cap go down to 30, large cap go up to 35, and another 5 percentage point shift from mid cap to large cap. Right?
Okay.
So that would make about approximately 40-45% large cap,
Right.
and the rest in mid and small cap.
Are you saying this because this year are you envisaging small and mid cap not to perform as poorly as they did last year?
Yes, I think relatively speaking, we believe that the worst of the economic growth. We've had nominal GDP growth of 8% for the last 4 quarters. That basically means that there is not much growth in the economy for the larger corporates, for the large number of corporates, and that is what showed up. Our earnings growth, nominal GDP fell to 8%, earnings growth fell to 6%, and mid and small cap stocks corrected.
So, Sushmit, we've understood how to reallocate this portfolio, why review is important, but the underperformance is almost 500 basis points or 5 percentage points. Do you think like all of the reallocation that we just spoke about, do you think that can cover that 5% gap?
So probabilistically it should. There's nothing will in our business, in the investing world. But having said that, we always say that return is a function of 2 things. One is being set up in terms of portfolio allocation, and the second is the cost.
Right.
We have not touched upon the cost
Sure.
for this gentleman.
So as we can see, right, 1.2 lakh of the entire 87 lakhs is actually in direct funds.
Okay.
76.8 lakh rupees is actually invested through regular funds, and I think the cost of the regular fund TER is about 1.6%, or 1.23 lakh annually. That's the cost of this portfolio.
Yash, out of the 500 basis points, he can easily save 100 basis points by moving from regular to direct. So that itself is 20% of missed gains, which is a lot. And hopefully the other 4 percentage points is covered by the portfolio reallocation and regular review, right? Today we believe it's 50-50. 1 year down the line, things may change again. For example, 3 months ago, we cut silver from our asset allocation completely. So you need to do these reviews because markets are extremely volatile, and they move faster than they used to.
Yeah, specifically, like we're seeing volatility more frequently. We're seeing volatility for more sustained period of time. So I definitely think that review becomes very important, and hopefully this gentleman from Nagpur understands that and implements that. Coming back, Sushmit, I want to end this with the reality of achieving the goal. 87 lakhs current portfolio value. If he makes all the adjustments, he wants to get to 2 crore so that he can buy that house in Nagpur. Do you think that's possible?
That is possible, assuming that he does no SIP. He will take about 5 to 6 years to reach 2 crores. Very simply put, if we compound at 15%, you should be able to double your money in about 4.5-5 years. Add 1 more year because starting at 87. So about 5.5-6 years to go from 87 crores to 2 crores.
How do we decrease that timeline? What can this individual do, says, if he had to make this happen in lesser time, like maybe say 3 or 4 years?
The simplest way to do that is to start an SIP. To what we say actively save.
Because I do see that there's no SIP in this portfolio. It's all lump sum as of now.
Yes. It'll be great if he starts saving 1 lakh a month. If he saves 1 lakh a month for the next 2-3 years. The 5.5-6 years of the house window will come down to 2.5-3 years.
Understood.
Right. So that's the power that regular savings can do. And more importantly, I think one thing that we did not touch upon is this is the entire investable amount. He cannot start at zero again. Once he buys the house, right? So that will be again the compounding journey will be very, very long. So that's the other important part. If he starts an SIP, he'll have some surplus left after a couple of years or 3 years, even after buying the house.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Sushmit. Hopefully our viewers will take a lot of insight from here, especially around review and making sure that your portfolio is aligned to the current market situation, the current market conditions, and hopefully kind of like leverages the changes that we make in a portfolio. So thank you so much for doing this, and I'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
If you would like to review your portfolio,
on the Deserve app, scan the QR code on the screen, or download using the link in the description below. If you would like to get featured on this series and have your portfolio reviewed, fill out the form by clicking on the link in the description below.